Joining me in the Room podcast for the first time is Sean Yadimarco, who's ready to take the mats this Saturday coming at Emerald City Invitational for 10 grand. Sean, welcome to the podcast for the first time, man. How you doing?
Thank you for having me, man. I'm doing great. Just came off a win at Enigma, getting ready for this big 10K tournament at Emerald City, and looking to impress.
Excellent. Well, before we get to that Enigma tournament 2 weeks ago, how was your Thanksgiving, by the way? Did you get to enjoy it, seeing it's right in the middle of two big tournaments here?
I'm not really cutting weight. I didn't cut weight for my match, and I'm not really cutting weight for Emerald City. I walk around like 180, 185, so weight cut was no problem. I got to enjoy my Thanksgiving. I still had class on Thanksgiving. I've never closed my gym for a single holiday ever, so still same usual routine. Nothing changed.
Excellent, man. 24/7 jiu-jitsu practitioner. No wonder why 10 grand is almost in your grasp here, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Let's get to the Enigma. You've competed for them before, the fifth event. I've seen you there. I think you were basically there with one other trainer partner. Came all the way from New Jersey. Dude, how did you actually get involved with Enigma? How'd you, get on their mat?
Christos hit me up through Instagram, and he asked me if I want to do this 1K tournament in New Hampshire, and I was like, yeah, I'm down. And it turned out being an awesome event, and I look to compete with them a lot more in the future.
Excellent. Yeah, and that was like early in, their events, and things have grown.
I think that was the first one.
Yeah, and things have grown so much since then. I mean, you ran through the competition as far as there. Like, I was just there going, wow, this kid's amazing. A young, 22-year-old kid coming there basically by himself. You had one or two training partners come and taking the trip with you. How was it to compete in New England? Have you come to other events, or was that the first time competing up north?
In New England, that was actually the first time I competed in New England. I usually compete like at least once or twice a month though. This past year I traveled to about like 8 or 9 different states to compete. So, traveling, even going alone, competing, or maybe with another person, that's very normal for me. And I have absolutely no problem with that.
Excellent. Well, a couple of weeks ago, you came back, maybe traveling alone, but you met a bunch of training partners, your coach, Tom DeBlas.
That's right.
You hit the mats again at Enigma. This time, not a tournament. You had a super match there, 15-minute EBI. Dude, they were trying to get you a matchup. I know you were supposed to have another matchup, and that you guys were both competing at different times or different weights. So here comes an MMA guy that I know personally from seeing him fight. Jonathan Piersma comes in. When you find out, you're not going against somebody that, practices or competes in jiu-jitsu 24/7, and kind of an MMA guy that, has to do everything, man, what changes your mind as far as going to mats? Is it anything, or is it kind of the same thing, same, ending here?
Well, no matter who I fight, whether they be a MMA practitioner, a wrestler, jiu-jitsu competitor, I always thoroughly study them, watch every single match that they ever had on the internet, come up with a game plan to defeat them, and that's exactly what I did.
Excellent. Well, it took to go out of bounds to do it, man, and as the competition, as the rules set go, if you're, close to a submission, man, they're going to let you roll into the crowd or whatever, man. It was pretty quick. I think maybe under 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, man. How'd you feel in there the second time around, basically having a super fight and just having to have focus on one match?
Well, obviously, I feel like, having one match is a lot easier. You don't have to worry about, gassing yourself out. You can kind of go balls to the walls if it's only one match. And so, yeah, it's kind of a little bit more laid back for me. Well, actually, not more laid back, but I feel like I could go 100%. It's one match. That's it.
Well, you took the trip and you met some training partners. You coached one of, I don't know if this is one of your students.
Yeah, it was one of my students.
Oh, excellent, man. So you had a little bit of everything. You competed, you got to coach, you got to be coached, man. I don't know how many times that happens when, you all get together, but, was that really something special to have the whole kind of, some real elite grapplers that friends, training partners, and Tom head to this, this event?
No, yeah, it was a special moment. Like I said, I probably get more nervous coaching than actually competing because I have no, like real control over the situation. I can give little pointers here and there, but coaching definitely, for me, is more nerve-wracking than actually competing.
Well, you're going to be competing again. Oh, just last thing before, we move on from that. You went in there with three, I would say four. Three, it was you, Calvin, and I can't remember the young lady's name.
Sophia, that was her name.
So you went 3-0, but you coached one of your
Someone.
students. So it was really a 4-0, and if you call him a cousin or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
my guy,
pretty much a 4-0 day for my group of people.
Does that usually happen when you guys all get together and you have a couple of training partners competing in the same events? You kind of go in there and get the eyes and heads turning, like, who are these people?
Well, I get my instruction from Tom. My students get their instruction from me. So the instruction's coming from a very good source. So this is what we expect to happen.
Excellent, my man. Well, here we go. Back at it. Now it's not for kind of bragging rights and, personal gains. Now you're going for some cash, man, where the stakes are really high. I'm sure you put some money in to be able to compete for this. Dude, same rule set, and you're going to be going against a couple, or at least John, who you beat the last tournament. In this tournament, man, how excited are you to actually get back on the mats and be able to compete for some substantial amount of cash here?
I've been competing in jiu-jitsu tournaments since I was 13. I was wrestling before that. I'm pretty used to the process, even though there's a lot of money on the line. It's just going to be another day in the office for me.
So as far as heading into here, I mean, the last tournament, you had to get ready for that one guy where you said, when you said you could put it all out there for that. Now you're going to kind of pace yourself. What's the mindset? What's the kind of, not a game plan, but, what's difference in this and going in than, the last tournament?
So here I have a lot more studying to do. It's a 16-man bracket. I don't know what the bracket's going to be yet. Studying all my opponents, thinking of game plans already for each and every one of them. But the last tournament, it was just one person. So I just had to study for one person. It's like a test compared to a final. A final, you have a lot more studying to do than a singular test.
Well, one of those guys who are going to be taking the test or the final with you is a trainer partner, Calvin Tacey, who just won the Enigma. I think it was the middleweight championship or belt.
Yeah,
And he was actually in the tournament, a couple of tournaments, or a tournament after you at Enigma, where he won the $1,000 and ran through, everyone there that he went through. Dude, you might have to face him. And we talked about that in the interview, I think, at Enigma, man. Has that happened before? Not necessarily with Calvin, but with another, training partner that you've met in a tournament because you guys just made it to the end?
So actually, I've already fought Calvin before. Probably about 3 or 4 years ago at the World Championships. Me and Calvin both placed in our weight categories, and we both did the absolute. And just my luck, I had to fight Calvin first round of the absolute division. I ended up losing by an advantage. I don't know if you're familiar with IBJJF rules, but I ended up losing by an advantage. It was a very competitive match. I train with Calvin on a consistent basis. He knows my jiu-jitsu. I know his jiu-jitsu. It's just a matter of who has a better game plan going into that match.
Well, this is a different match, different set of rules, EBI rules. So this is something that you guys haven't necessarily went 100% against each other in this rule set, right? Is there a different kind of strategy here, EBI rule than the other rule set?
For me, EBI is not nearly as nerve-wracking as points, because points or rule sets with advantages, sometimes someone will score 2 points on you or get an advantage on you, and then they'll stall out the rest of the match, and then you end up losing. EBI, there's none of that. It's sub only, and then it's overtime at the end. So it's actually a lot less nerve-wracking without points.
Excellent, man. As far as this 10 grand on the line, I guess for the winner here, is there other cash prizes for just second, third, or something like that?
Nope. If you take second, you just go home with nothing.
You get a medal.
Yeah, you get a participation award.
Awesome, man. Damn. Some of the best guys on the planet are going there to try to win 10 grand, and they get nothing. See you later. They get the hook if you get.
It's a nice try.
But you're used to it. I mean, that's part of the game. I mean, a couple of things before I let you go and stuff. As far as you spoke about, you've been on the mats or wrestling since you were 13 years old. Is this like a career? Of course it's a career. I mean, you own and do your own, have your own gym and stuff.
Yes.
Mention them, by the way.
So my gym, Immortals Jiu-Jitsu, located in North Jersey, Clifton, New Jersey. It's about 15 minutes from Manhattan. We've been open for a little over a year now, and we have a ton of competitors. We have a ton of hobbyists that are growing every day. Come check us out anytime.
Excellent. Well, so to get back at that, I mean, this is your lifestyle. This is your career. I mean,
yes.
Kid, I'm sure you're making, or, a young kid, 22, running your own, gym camp there. You can make a living at that, with people coming in. But as far as a jiu-jitsu competitor, you're going for 10 grand, but is that something that you can make a living at, just competing in jiu-jitsu tournaments?
So I think there's a ton of money in jiu-jitsu, but not by competing, so to say, unless you're a Gordon Ryan. You see a ton of people making money in jiu-jitsu through teaching, through DVDs, through private lessons, through opening up a gym. I actually think if you just hustle, there's a ton of money in jiu-jitsu and in martial arts in general. You just have to be able to find ways and hustle.
And I spoke to Tom after the tournament, got to, get an interview with him, and we spoke about, the new jiu-jitsu, the new generation coming in, guys like you, women, like your training partners there, and just doing it, man. And he talked about, how jiu-jitsu is hitting the mainstream because, new competitors, younger people, and the internet, that can expose and just show what is capable of some of you guys and ladies on their mats, man. So, like you said, man, there's tons of money. And, excuse me, tournaments like, Christos that, has just been open for a year. You opening up a camp after a year. A lot of the stuff has just exploded from the shutdown and you kids just thinking out of the box and thinking how to make a living out of yourself doing what you're amazing at. So with that said, my friend, you have this tournament coming up. You said you were in a bunch of them, man. What are you looking to do other than win 10 grand here? I mean, because you're always learning, and it's a learning game, and you learn something from anyone. First guy in there, first lady in there, till, Gordon Ryan. What are you looking to get out of this tournament that's going to take you into 2022?
There's a lot of things I'm looking to get out of this tournament. Just competing against high-level guys. You'll get a lot of different looks and a lot of different reactions than you would every day in the gym against some of your training partners. I'm very excited to see the different ways my opponents are going to react to different approaches I take. There's a lot of exposure from this. Andre Petrosky's in this. He's a current UFC fighter who's on The Ultimate Fighter. So a lot of people are going to be watching this. A lot of good exposure.
Incredible, man. Last thing before I let you go, do you have sponsors, people that are helping you along? Because, we're trying to, make you a living at this, even though you probably already am.
Yeah, I have 3 sponsors. I have Hold Fast Fight Gear. They supply me with a lot of dope gis, a lot of dope gear. Rollbliss, they also hook me up with a lot of dope gis and a lot of dope gear. Fight Back CBD, they send me CBD when I need it. And very thankful for you guys.
I know you got some social media pages and, your Instagram, your instructional stuff, and everything's on there. So shout out anything you want, and I'll let you get out of here.
Follow my school page, Immortals Jiu-Jitsu. Follow my page. I post a lot of good instructional content for you guys to develop. And that's it, my friend.